Listen to me. I don't care who you are, where you come from, or what mistakes you've made right now. You're either in control of your mind, or your mind is in control of you. And if your mind is in control of you, you are losing. You know what I see when I look at most people? I see prisoners. Not prisoners locked in some dark cell, no. Prisoners of their own thoughts. Prisoners of fear, prisoners of anxiety, prisoners of what other people think of them. Every single day they wake up, pick up their phone, scroll through social media, and let someone else decide how they feel. They give up their mental freedom before they even brush their teeth, and that is why their life never changes. Because here's the truth, your mind is the most powerful weapon you own. It can build you into a king, or it can keep you crawling like a slave. Your thoughts will either push you forward or chain you to the floor. The problem is, most of you have no idea how to control your own mind. Your mind tells you to stay in bed, you stay in bed. Your mind tells you to skip the workout, you skip it. Your mind tells you to watch another episode, you obey. Your mind tells you to procrastinate, you do it. And then you wonder why you feel stuck. Let me tell you something you might not want to hear. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victim of your mind. You think you're tired? No, you're undisciplined. You think you're sad? No, you're unfocused. You think life is unfair? No, you just haven't learned how to command your own brain. Life is not happening to you, you are happening to life. And the day you take back control of your mind is the day everything changes. Listen to me carefully, you are either in control of your mind or your mind is in control of you. And if your mind is controlling you right now, you are losing. You know it, deep down you can feel it. Most people wake up every single morning and hand over their freedom before they even get out of bed. They grab their phone, scroll through notifications, and let strangers, news, and drama decide how they feel. That's why they are stuck. That's why they are miserable. That's why they live the same life over and over, year after year. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you own. It can turn you into a king or keep you as a slave. And most of you are slaves to your thoughts. Your mind tells you to stay in bed, so you stay. It tells you to skip the gym, so you skip. It tells you that you can't win, so you don't even try. You live at the mercy of your feelings, and that is why your life never changes. You think you're tired, but you're not. You think you're broken, but you're not. You think life is unfair, but it isn't. You are simply out of control. You are letting your mind call the shots, and if you don't learn to master it, it will destroy you. This is the war. Nobody talks about the war inside your head. Every day, you fight battles no one else can see. Laziness, fear, doubt, anxiety, they all live inside your mind. You cannot negotiate with them. You cannot hope they disappear. You must dominate them. You must override the voice that says stop and replace it with one that says go. You must decide that your feelings are no longer in charge. You are. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you take back power. Every time you push when your brain screams quit, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your emotions. That is how freedom is built, by mastering yourself. People think discipline is a prison, but it is the opposite. When you control your mind, you control your destiny. You control your focus, your confidence, your future. The voice that says you are not enough, silence it. The voice that says you can't do it, crush it. Feed your mind power, not poison. Train it like a warrior, because if you do not control your mind will control you, and it will lead you nowhere. The moment you take command, the moment you say, I am in charge now, everything changes. Your dream life will not wait for your feelings. It will only respond to your decisions. Control your mind before it controls you, because your future depends on it. Most of you don't even realize how much of your life is being controlled by a voice that isn't even real. That little whisper in your head that says you're tired, stop working, or you'll fail, don't try, is not your friend. That voice has been trained by years of weakness, by society that tells you to stay comfortable, by habits that you've repeated over and over, and now it runs you. You think you are making choices, but you are not. Your mind is making them for you, and you obey like a servant. This is why you wake up in the same place every day, living the same life, complaining about the same things, but never changing them. You have to understand this truth: your mind is a tool. It was never designed to be your master. It was designed to serve you, but it will only serve you if you teach it how. Right now, your mind is like a wild animal, pulling you in every direction, chasing distraction, avoiding pain, craving cheap pleasure. And you let it. You scroll when you should be building. You complain when you should be acting. You procrastinate when you should be moving forward. Then you blame the world for why nothing changes. Stop lying to yourself. The world isn't holding you back, your uncontrolled mind is. The day you learn to shut that voice up and take command is the day you become unstoppable. You will still feel fear, but you will act anyway. You will still feel tired, but you will work anyway. You will still feel doubt, but you will push through anyway. That is how strength is built. That is how self-respect is created. Every time you win the battle against yourself, you become a stronger, sharper, more dangerous version of who you were yesterday. That is how empires are built, not by magic, not by luck, but by men and women who refuse to be controlled by their emotions. Control of the mind is the highest level of freedom. It is when you stop being a slave to the world, a slave to your excuses, a slave to fear. Most people will never reach this point because it is painful. It requires you to look in the mirror and admit that the reason you're not where you want to be is not because of anyone else, but because you let your mind run wild. But if you have the courage to face that truth and take command, nothing will be able to stop you. Your mind will become your ally, your strongest weapon, your most powerful force. And when that happens, you will realize that nothing outside of you ever had control. It was always you versus you. Control your mind before it controls you, because that is the difference between a life of regret and a life of greatness. Let me tell you a hard truth. Most people will never say out loud your mind is your biggest enemy if you let it run loose. It is not the economy holding you back. It is not your family, your friends, or even your past. It is that voice in your head that convinces you to stay small. Every time you think of doing something great, it whispers, "What if you fail?" Every time you get close to taking action, it says, "Do it later." Every time you dream of a bigger life, it says, "That's impossible for someone like you." And because you believe it, you stay where you are. Not because you are weak, but because you never learned how to take charge of your own brain. You were not born with discipline, it has to be built. You were not born with courage, it has to be created. You were not born with mental strength, it has to be forged in fire, and that fire is pain. That fire is resistance. That fire is every single moment you feel like quitting but keep going anyway. You must decide that you are no longer at the mercy of your emotions. You must decide that you will do what is required whether you feel like it or not. Because if you only act when you feel good, you will never act enough to change your life. Your future is shaped by the decisions you make when no one is watching, when you are tired, when it hurts, when it feels pointless. That is where control is won. When you push through those moments, you rewire your mind. You teach it that you are the master, and with each victory, you grow stronger. Soon, you no longer need motivation. You no longer need someone to tell you to get up, to work, to fight. You become self-driven, self-commanded, unstoppable. But it all starts with one choice, the choice to stop negotiating with your excuses and start taking control. The choice to stop letting fear decide for you. The choice to stop wasting time on things that make you weaker. You must guard your thoughts like you guard your life, because they are your life. Every thought you allow to grow inside you will eventually become your reality. If you allow weakness, you will live weak. If you allow strength, you will live strong. If you allow doubt, you will live in fear. If you allow courage, you will live in freedom. You are one decision away from becoming the person you were meant to be, but that decision will not come from comfort. It will come from command. You either control your mind or your mind will control you. And if you let your mind control you, it will drag you into mediocrity and keep you there forever. Take control now. This is your fight, and it is the most important fight you will ever face. Win it. Most people live their entire lives as slaves to impulses they don't even understand. They eat what they shouldn't, say what they regret, waste time they can't afford, and sabotage the very future they claim to want. Why? Because they have no control over their own mind. They think their thoughts are who they are, but that's the biggest lie. Your thoughts are not commands, they are suggestions. But you treat every suggestion like an order. Your mind says, rest, and you obey. Your mind says, you can't do it, and you quit. Your mind says, you're not ready, and you wait. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and before you know it, your entire life has been dictated by fear, hesitation, and doubt that were never real in the first place. The difference between the weak and the strong is not talent, not luck, not money, it is control. The strong man feels the same fear as the weak man, but he acts anyway. The strong woman feels the same doubt as the weak one, but she moves forward anyway. Control does not mean you are fearless. It means you act in spite of fear. Control does not mean you never feel lazy. It means you refuse to let laziness win. That is the line that separates champions from quitters, leaders from followers, winners from losers. You must learn to watch your thoughts and catch them before they control you. When your mind tells you to quit, recognize it as weakness trying to survive. When your mind tells you that you are not enough, recognize it as the old version of you trying to pull you back. Your job is to override it, to choose differently, to act according to who you want to become, not who you were yesterday. Every time you do this, you take back a little more control, and eventually you become unstoppable. This is the secret no one teaches you. Life will test you every single day, and your mind will either be your ally or your enemy in that test. If you lose control, you will fail, you will retreat, and you will remain stuck. But if you gain control, you will win regardless of the obstacles. You will become the kind of person who cannot be broken, who cannot be distracted, who cannot be stopped. And when you reach that level of control, you will look back and realize that every limitation you once believed in was just a lie your mind fed you. You can't afford to wait. Every day you delay taking command of your mind is another day wasted, another opportunity lost. There will never be a perfect moment to change. The perfect moment is the moment you decide. Take control now, because if you don't, your mind will keep running the show, and you will wake up one day realizing you spent your whole life living below your potential. There is a version of you that exists right now, stronger, sharper, more disciplined, more focused, but you haven't met them yet. Why? Because they are hidden behind the wall of mental control you refuse to break through. That version of you wakes up before the sun, works when others are sleeping, stays calm when others panic, stays locked in when others are distracted. That version of you is waiting for you to stop listening to the weak voice in your head that keeps you exactly where you are. You have to understand this. Every time you listen to that voice, you are building the habit of losing. And losing becomes addictive. Losing becomes your identity. You start to expect it, you start to prepare for it, and eventually you stop fighting altogether. But the opposite is true too. Every time you win the battle against your own mind, you start building the habit of victory. You teach yourself that when things get hard, you rise. You teach yourself that when you feel fear, you move faster. You teach yourself that no matter what happens, you are in charge. That is where real confidence comes from, not fake motivation, not empty words, but daily proof that you can trust yourself to follow through. This is why I tell you to control your mind, because if you don't, you will hand over your life to something weaker than you. You will let laziness decide how successful you become. You will let fear decide which risks you take. You will let comfort decide how far you go, and that is no way to live. You were not born to play small. You were not born to exist in mediocrity. You were not born to be average. But greatness will never appear for you until you have the courage to master yourself first. Control does not come from one big decision, it comes from 1,000 small ones. It comes from choosing to get up when you don't want to, choosing to keep going when you're exhausted, choosing to stay focused when distractions are calling you. Each choice is a brick, and if you stay consistent, those bricks will build the strongest mind you've ever had. A mind that no longer controls you, a mind that serves you. So make the decision right now, not tomorrow, not next week now. Stop negotiating with your feelings. Stop waiting for permission. Stop letting your mind run wild. Train it, discipline it, push it, command it. If you win this battle, you win everything. But if you lose it, nothing else will matter. The most important war you will ever fight is the one in your own head, and it's happening right now. Choose to win. And this is where it all comes together. The truth is simple. You either control your mind, or your mind will control you. There is no middle ground. There is no compromise. Every single day, you are either getting stronger or getting weaker. You are either building discipline or building excuses. You are either moving closer to your dream life or further away from it. Your mind will always try to protect you from pain, from fear, from struggle, but those are the very things that make you powerful. Comfort has never built greatness. Comfort has never created a warrior. Comfort has never changed a single life. The future belongs to the ones who can command themselves, who can act even when they are scared, who can stay focused when the world is trying to distract them. So I'm asking you right now, stop giving your power away. Stop letting weakness write the story of your life. Take back control. Decide that from this moment forward, you are the master of your mind. Decide that no thought, no excuse, no distraction will be stronger than your will. Because when you take command of your mind, you take command of your destiny. You will work harder, think clearer, move faster, and rise higher than you ever thought possible. This is your time, this is your fight, and if you win this fight, every other fight becomes easier. Control your mind before it controls you, and go create the life you were born to live.